I'm Jenna Blower. On today's news program, we'd like to introduce a new segment on eco-schools. To start off, we will examine the Golden Learning Centre in Bombertown, Ontario, which has proved itself as a 3-year gold status eco-school. Here we have Miss Nancy Phillips, the school's librarian and environmental guru. Out to you, Alexia.
I am here with Miss Nancy Phillips. So, Miss Phillips, what was your vision when you first began the environmental team?
My vision was that our whole school community, GLC, would really come to a deeper understanding of why it's vitally important to protect our environment and to figure out what we could do to do our part in that bigger project.
What were the first steps to creating and running this program?
Okay, the first steps really was the formation of Green Gang, and I think you might remember that too, Alexia. Yeah. Green Gang was the group of students who would help with composting all of our lunch waste and starting to save and recycle used paper and to recycle our cardboard because we didn't have a recycling program.
Next, we have Jocelyn Morin's interview with Miss Kathy Fawthorpe and one of her old students, Madison Moda. Fawthorpe and her class worked together to plan a waste management audit to help control the waste that GLC generates.
I'm here with Miss Madison Moda and Miss Kathy Fawthorpe. Audit. What activities did you have the students complete to build up the project?
Well, we started by doing an audit of our own lunches and comparing how many reusable containers we had versus disposable items. And then we set a goal to reduce our own consumption of disposable items. After that, we planned a school-wide event where we challenged all the classes to pack waste-free for 1 week. We made posters to place around the school, and we held an assembly modeling how to pack a good waste-free lunch.
Okay. What did you learn from this project, Madison?
I learned that the world kind of needs to be taken care of, and we studied a lot about the effects of global warming and greenhouse gases, so we learned what was actually going on, and I learned that the school can make a bigger difference when we're all doing it together.
I see. Now, why is it important to have our students be aware and use these skills later in life?
Our students need to establish habits now with, as consumers, buying fewer products that have a lot of waste. It also helps them to make healthier choices for their lunches, so the waste-free lunches tend to be healthier.
I see. Now, after this audit, did the waste continue to decrease?
I think so. We started doing about 2 waste audits every year to just kind of track it, and I think they are starting to decrease.
I agree, families are making better choices.
Thank you.
To reduce their waste even more, their composting program really escalated. Here is Miss Candice Wacherik, one of the teachers involved with the composting. Out to you, Alexia.
I'm here with Ms. Wacherik, and we were wondering, how did you get students involved with this program?
Began by just bringing the composting bin into the classroom. So we used to have, many years ago, probably 5 years ago, we brought a vermicomposting bin into the grade 6 classroom at the time, and it just became part of our classroom routine to look after the worms, so to speak.
Okay. What types of composting takes place at GLC?
There's 2 types of composting that takes place at GLC. We have vermicomposting, which is when you use red wiggle worms to help with the composting, and we only have a couple of small bins in the classrooms. I think grade 1 has one in my classroom, and then the grade 2 classroom has one as well. And then there's also much larger scale composting, which takes place out in the gardens, just regular composting.
Christy St. Jean and Teresa Walker, parents of GLC students, had a brilliant idea and are the reason for the school's beautiful outdoor classroom. Interviewing them is Miss Jocelyn Morin.
I'm here with Miss Christy St. Jean, and she's here to tell us more about the outdoor classroom. So, I was wondering, what prompted you to build the outdoor classroom?
I thought that it'd be really good for the school to have a place where they could do more outside learning, to expose the kids to more outside stuff. I think that a lot of kids are kind of deprived of nature, and so most of the reasons that kids will give you that they're not outside is because school takes up the whole day, and then television is usually a close second. So by bringing the outdoors to them at school, I think is really beneficial to the kids, and it prompts them, gives them a good idea of kind of more environmental issues as well. Brings it kind of closer to home, so they could make a relationship between the outdoors and environmental issues and everything that goes along with it. So.
Okay, so would there be anything else to add about why it is important for kids?
Why is it important for kids to be outside? I think throughout the years, kids have actually become completely disconnected with nature. And so I think a lot of people don't realize how nature and the outside directly affects them, and how when something changes, that could change what's on your plate. It could change what you live in, and when you have no connection with nature, all of that is just gone. And so we have to start doing something to make that connection for kids to be back in nature a little bit more. Yeah, and so schools are
One of the GLC students' favorite eco activities is the initial activity day. We have Alexia Roscoe interviewing GLC's kindergarten teacher, Miss Sylvia McPhee.
And we were wondering, how does this event increase awareness about eco-schools?
Okay, well, our event brought us all outside, which is part of the Eco School Initiative. So we're wanting to be outside as much as possible. We're wanting to be active, which is playing games. We're wanting to take care of our environment. So by being outside on a nice sunny day, and we're celebrating our wonderful world. Some of the activities were about taking care of our earth and having fun with it. And we can always go back to the students later and say, if we don't take care of our earth, we can't go out and play, and we won't have a nice spot to play in.
Okay. What activities were involved?
Well, I don't quite recall them all, Alexia, but I do know that we had an earth ball, which showed the little ones, the little children, exactly what our purpose was, to take care of it. We were playing outside with sidewalk chalk and bubbles, so we were showing how we can have fun in our environment and yet keep care of it as well. I think we picked up garbage, which is taking care of our earth. And we also had some running games, and I think some of the teachers played games with some of the animals that we have in our environment, so it teaches the children just about our environment, and it might teach them about habitat, it might teach them about some food chains. For example, there's a game with a deer catching some fox or other little critters. So it's that kind of a thing that teaches kids.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Finally, to top this program off, we have Miss Karen Cormier and her thoughts on National Sweater Day at GLC. Out to you, Jocelyn.
So, what happens during this type of event?
So this was an exciting event. We had our good neighbors, Goldcore Red Lake Mines, join us. What we did is we asked students to bring in sweaters so we could donate them throughout the community. We asked them to wear their favorite sweater. We would turn our thermostat down and we would conserve on energy. Over and above, this year, for the second year in a row, we sold hot chocolate, and we donated all the proceeds to the World Wildlife Fund. So an exciting thing to happen here at GLC, just one of the many activities that we do as part of our Eco Schools program.
That's awesome. Now, what is the message you want people to know from this event?
I want people to know that children can make a difference. I want them to know that a group of children can come together in a school and can convince a gold mine who's operating next door that this is a neat project and come and be a partner with us. I think that's an amazing thing. When you look at National Sweater Day, last year 1.5 million Canadians took part, 300 organizations, and wow, GoldenLearningCentre with their partner Goldcorp Red Lake Gold Mines next door. We were one of those organizations. We were one out of 300 in this country who made a huge impact on things.
Thank you, Ms. Cleverly.
To finish off this segment, and on behalf of the staff and students and parents at GLC, they'd just like you to remember that even the little things add up, and that's mainly how they've achieved their goals. I'm Jenna Blower, and I'm signing off.